Hello, my name is Simeon Christoph, one of the coaches for the program, and today we'll be discussing how to adapt a nutrition plan according to the needs of your body. Now, your coach must have sent you a plan already, but what's really important in order for us to get results and get visible results is the calories we consume on a daily basis. If we want to gain weight, we need to eat more than what our body burns every single day. If you want to lose weight, we got to consume less calories than our energy expenditure. So we're going to discuss today what is the formula, how we can calculate how much calories our body burns right now. I'm going to give you a simple tactic that I use when it comes to counting calories out without weighing my food, without measuring every single gram, because I realize most of you are busy, so you're not going to have the time to do that. But I'll just give you my basic guidelines, and I hope this will be really helpful for you. And yeah, let's get started. So as I said, all that matters when it comes to gaining weight or losing weight is not the quality of the food. This is of course a factor, but the most important factor is the energy in versus energy out. Now, to calculate that, we gotta start with step one, which is the daily calorie requirement or the basal metabolic rate of our body. The formula for men is 10 times the weight in kilograms multiplied by 625 multiplied by the height in centimeters minus 5 times the age plus 5, and that will give us the basal metabolic rate for men. Now for women, it's 10 times the weight in kilograms multiplied by 625 by their height in centimeters minus 5 times their age minus 161. And as an example, for a 40-year-old male that's 80 kilograms, 180 tall, that would be 10 multiplied by 80 plus 625 multiplied by 180 minus 5 times 40 plus 5, and that would equal a total of 1,730 calories. Now this number, you want to keep track of it, you want to write it down somewhere, because these are the calories you don't want to drop under each and every single day, because these are the necessary calories for your body to perform all of its functions at 110%. Now if you drop under those calories, what's going to happen is you're going to slow down your metabolism and you're not going to absorb the food so quickly. So if you do it for a prolonged period of time, your metabolism will lower its energy expenditure. And that's why you see a lot of the crash diets work very well in the short term, in the very beginning. But then as you keep on cutting the calories out, you can't keep on losing weight. You don't have energy and you feel deprived. Now for a 40-year-old woman that's 65 kilograms, 162 tall, the formula would state the following: 10 multiplied by 65 plus 625 multiplied by 162 minus 5 times 40 minus 161, and that would equal a total of 1,301 calories. So if that's the calorie count, you don't want to drop under that. Now step number 2, we gotta add in activity. So the previous step, that's your daily calorie needs of your body, that's the basal metabolic rate. So if you wake up and don't do anything, pretty much stay in bed all day, that's how much energy your body uses on a daily basis. Now once we add the activity level to your BMR, the calories are slightly going to increase, and that's why you want to manipulate your calories through activity, and that's why we include workouts in the programs. Not that it's not possible to get results without doing exercise, but it definitely speeds up the process. So now once we have the BMR calculated, we'll need to multiply it by our activity level. So if you're a sedentary, meaning that you do little or no exercise, or you have a desk job, you multiply your BMR by 1.2. If you're lightly active, meaning that you do little exercise, you have a desk job, but you maybe work out 1 to 3 times a week, you multiply by 1.3, 1.4. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. Now, if you're moderately active, meaning that you do sports 3 to 5 times a week and you have a desk job, you fall into that category and you multiply by 1.5, 1.6. If you're very active, meaning that you're doing hard exercise, you're lifting weights, you're maybe doing some cardio as an extra, and you do sports 6-7 days a week, that's 1.7 to 1.8. Now, if you're extremely active, if you have a very strenuous job, or you're doing 2-a-day workouts, or you're lifting for performance, you want to multiply your BMR by 1.9 to 2. Now, as an example, for our 40-year-old male who trains 4 times per week, meaning he's moderately active, we'll multiply by 1.6, and that would equal a total of 2,768 calories. Now, as a tip, always aim for the higher end. meaning that if it says 1.3, 1.4, always go for the higher number because you want to see how your body responds to that. So the higher the number, the more we can go down. So if you start at the bottom, you slow down your metabolism if you keep on reducing your calories. So start higher and then gradually decrease. Now for our 40-year-old female who trains 2 times per week, she's lightly active. So we're multiplying her BMR by 1.4, and that gives her daily calorie count, which is 1,822 calories. Now you can pause this video, take a screenshot, and make the formula to estimate how much calories your body burns, because this will be the number we want to work with for the rest of the presentation here. Now it comes down to your goals. You have the energy that your body is burning every single day. Now for us to be able to identify how much you should consume for food, what you should be eating, in what quantities, we need to identify your goal. That's the prime example. A lot of people say, oh, I want to gain muscle and lose weight at the same time. And yes, that's possible, but you'll be reducing your weight and you'll be toning your muscle, so you change the way you look, not necessarily gain weight in kilograms as muscle. So for example, if you want to lose fat, your body's burning 2,000 calories. We'll just take it as a simple example. Daily with the activities included, you can drop your calorie intake by 400 to 500 calories per day without going under your BMR. So your daily calorie target would be 1,500. Now, when you want to drop fat, you want to keep your protein intake high, because your muscles now, they'll be more deprived because you're not getting enough calories in. So you want to make sure that you have enough amino acids in your body to make sure you have healthy hair, healthy skin, healthy nails, and recover properly from the workouts. Because if you don't get enough protein, you add the exercise and you cut your calories out, you're going to be sore for a couple of days. You're not going to feel great. You put stress on the joint. So make sure you get enough protein in your diet. That's why we recommend, if you're cutting weight and you're unsure of how to include protein in your diet, just have 2 shakes. Have 1 shake in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, and have it as a snack, or have 1 post-recovery. It's a great way to add extra protein and you don't have to think too much about it. Now, another thing is the multivitamins. When you reduce your calorie intake, of course, you're not consuming as much food as you would normally do. So the nutrient profile of what's coming in your body is going down. So that's why we like to include multivitamins, just to make sure we hit the vitamin and mineral needs of our body every single day. You have to also increase the water intake, because if you're cutting the calories out, you'll be feeling hungrier throughout the day, especially in the very beginning. So make sure you increase the water intake to keep your body hydrated, and this will give you energy, give you focus, it keeps the skin clear. There are numerous benefits of that. You want to eliminate the carbohydrates for dinner. This is like not something that you should live by, but it's advised to do so, because during the night, if you're not going to be working out after you have dinner, there's no reason for you to be consuming these carbohydrates. You can have higher carbohydrate intake during the day, especially on the workout days, because you want to have that energy. We don't want to eliminate carbohydrates altogether. So don't worry if you have a little bit of rice, a little bit of pasta, a little bit of whole wheat bread, that's okay. Now, if you want to keep your weight the same and just tone your body, just shape up your muscles a little bit, we're going to use the same example where we're burning 2,000 calories a day with the activities included. So generally what we'll do, we'll keep the calorie intake the same and gradually increase our intake by 100 to 200 calories daily, but we revise that every week. So week number 1, you keep your calories at 2,000, just see how your body reacts. Now next week you increase the calories to 2,100, see how your body reacts. Now if you're responding well or you're still losing weight, you might want to bump that up the next week to 2,300 and just see how your body is reacting to that. And you want to document your progress every single day, just so you see where you're headed, so you can adjust if you're on the right track. Now keep in mind there's water fluctuation. If you have higher salt intake, the weight on the scale could vary. So I like to measure on a weekly basis. I weigh myself every day, but I do the average for the week. Now if you're toning and maintaining, keep your protein moderate, and we're going to discuss that in a little bit. You can have a little bit higher carbohydrates here and higher intensity at the workouts because you have the energy, you have the calories to play with, and generally you feel stronger, you have more energy. So you can have higher carbohydrates just to get that extra calories, because it's hard to get 2000 calories from clean foods. Now for muscle gain, and if you want to gain weight in general, and you have your intake at 2000 calories, you can increase that daily by 300 to 400 calories. And a tip here, you can bump up the fats in your diet, and you can also eat more carbohydrates just to make sure that you get enough energy in your body, because if you're a hard gainer like me, it's very hard to eat enough food to keep on gaining weight. That's why you want to make sure that you eat carbohydrates, you increase your fat intake like avocado, olive oil, different sorts of nut butters are perfect source for you to increase your calories. And also you can have liquid calories now. So if you're having maybe coffee in the morning, you can now add some extra soy milk or fat-free milk just to bump the calories up a little bit higher. And you can add extra ingredients in the shake. You can maybe add frozen berries. You can add maybe a nut butter, as I said, or a banana. And you can have much heavier workouts now because you're consuming enough calories to support the needed growth for your body. Now, let's break down the daily calories by meal, because I know what most people are thinking. Okay, that's great, Simeon, but I don't really have the time to count calories. Like what you said really makes sense, but I don't know if I can keep track of that. I already have a demanding schedule. I don't know if I'll be weighing my food. Plus, I eat out all the time. Well, don't worry, that's me. So I've came up with a simple formula that I use. It's just basic guidelines. So I suggest you take a screenshot of that, keep it on your phone, and it will act as a guideline for you. So if you're eating 3 meals, we're going to discuss what we can do if you're eating out and if you're eating at home. If you're eating 4 meals, we're going to discuss what you can do if you're eating out or at home. And then if you want to eat 5 meals, we're going to discuss what's happening when you eat out and when you eat at home. So if we want to stick to 3 meals, and that's what I personally do, 3 meals, and sometimes I do a snack on the workout days. I have a second shake between my lunch and dinner. But if you're eating out, you can have the shake in the morning. I like to keep the shake plain. So I make it with the protein drink mix and the Formula 1 and with water. I don't want to add extra calories, especially if I know I'm going to be eating out for lunch and dinner. So I want to save my calories for later throughout the day. If I go out, I only have 1 meal, meaning that I don't get the salad, I don't get the main and then a dessert. I just stick to the main. And I like to have a balanced main, meaning that it has carbohydrates, it has fats, and it also has proteins. And usually if you order something like that out in a restaurant, it would be between 850 to 900 calories. Even if you eat something more calorie dense, if you order a burger, it would be around that, if you stay away from the fries, of course. But that's just as an example. Now, if you would have the dinner, it would be the same, between 700 to 900 for a main. So these are kind of the numbers I'm playing with. Now, depending on your calorie intake, you might want to reduce the portion, you might want to increase it. This is just a basic guideline. If I'm eating at home, I have more freedom now because I have more calories to play with, because you control what ingredients you put in the food. So if you have, a salad from a restaurant, doesn't equal to the salad that you would have at home, because, the restaurant obviously cares about the taste first. And that's why they bump up the calories. They add a lot of oil, they add salt, they add all these different flavorings and seasonings just to make sure it appeals to our taste buds. So for a shake, that would be 200 to 300 calories. Again, I would do the same thing. And if I do a recipe with the shake, maybe I do a pancakes in the morning or muffins, that would be 300 to 500 calories. Now for lunch, I might have a first, meaning that I have either a soup or a salad. That's usually around 300 to 400 calories. And then for my main, I would stick anywhere between 400 to 600 calories. And again, I add protein source, carbohydrates, and also fats. Now for dinner, I would do the same. I usually have either a soup or a salad, and then I have a main. So this way I can have, 2 different sort of meals. Two different dishes during one of the meals. And that's what I usually do on the weekends. This is what I do during the week. Now, if you want to do 4 meals, if you're eating out, again, shake 200 to 300 calories, main 600 to 800 calories. You might have a little snack in the afternoon, and I'm going to give you some ideas in just a second. 200 to 300 calories, and then for a main, another 600 to 800 calories. If you're eating at home, shake 200 to 500 calories. If you do the recipe, it goes a little bit higher because we add some extra ingredients. If you do a main, 300 plus 500-600 for the main dish, then a snack, 200 to 300 calories, and then as a main for dinner, I would stick to one thing. I'm not gonna add like a soup or a salad. I'm just gonna have the main course. So this is if I go for 4. If I go for 5 and I'm eating out, I'll make the shake with water, absolute must, so it's under 200 calories. I'll have a little snack, 200 calories. Then for main, it would be 600 to 800 calories. Then I'll have another snack of 200 calories, and I'll just have a lighter dinner, and I would maybe cut the carbs out or not any fats. In this way, I stay within my calorie range limit. And if I'm eating at home, I have more freedom now. I have the shake in the morning. I can make it either with soy milk, maybe add some frozen berries just to stay between that 200 to 300 calorie range. Have a snack at 200 calories, and then I'll have a first and a main 200 to 300 calories plus 400 to 500 calories for the main course. Another snack, and then for dinner I'll keep it light, and maybe I'll have a little dessert. Maybe I'll have like a Greek yogurt, fat-free Greek yogurt. The flavored ones are very good. They're a good source of protein, and they're less than 100 calories, so you can have 2 of those, or maybe add some extra fruit, or maybe just a few nuts on top. So it's a great way to add your calories. As you can see, it doesn't really matter if you eat 3 times a day, 4 times a day, 5 times a day. As long as you stay within your calorie range, you're going to be fine. You're going to be progressing towards your goals. And that's what we want with the program, to give you the freedom to eat as you like, eat the foods you enjoy, but at the same time get results, because this is sustainable. This is something you can keep after the 68 days, after the program's over. This is going to build as a habit. So there's not going to be a restriction, oh, you should be eating 4 times or 5 times. What I usually suggest, if you're starting out and if you're not used to having breakfast, try to eat 4 times a day. Try to have breakfast, try to have lunch, try to have dinner, but also a snack in between the lunch and dinner. Just so your body gets used to absorbing the energy and utilizing it as an energy source. So that's that. Now for step number 5, what do we have? Like, what is in our shopping list? And there's going to be another video where I show you literally what I buy. I'll show you the products. I'll show you what kind of fruits I'm buying, what kind of veggies. But here is just like a list of ideas that you can have for snacks. Fat-free yogurt, that's a great snack with fruits. If you have skyr, I'm not sure. It's an option of like cottage cheese. It's really fat-free, really high in protein. I'm not sure if it's available all around the world. But if you have it, it's a great option you can have. You can do fruits and nuts. I love having like slices of green apple with a spread of peanut butter, just like a thin layer. Phenomenal snack. You can have whole wheat toast with low-fat cheese. That's perfect. You can have fruit with low-fat cheese. You can have deli meat toast. You want to just stay away from the spreads, or if you have a spread, you want to keep it like a low-calorie version. If you're using Philadelphia, maybe go for the low-fat version again. I might have a protein bar. Herbalife Nutrition, they have 2 options. They have the Formula 1 Express bar, which is the meal replacement. It's like 250 calories, 300 calories. So it's a great as a snack. Or they have the small bars. They're 100 calories each, and they're also perfect. So I'll have 2 of those sometimes. You can also have a roll bar, meaning fruit bar with fat-free yogurt. That's a perfect option. Rice cake with nut butter. You can have a shake as a snack, or you can have soybeans. So these are all ideas that you can have throughout the day just to keep yourself full. Now as a main, depending on your taste preferences for protein, I usually like to go with lean meats, and always go for the lean, because if you get like a steak or a pork chop or something that's high in fat content, the calories quickly add up, so it's very hard to stay within the range. So go for lean meats, focus on some of the flavoring and dressing here just to make it taste better. You can have fish. I personally like salmon, trout. There's like tons of options out there. Again, stick to something that's not so fatty, unless it's salmon, because it has omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids that are really helpful. Now, if you're vegetarian or vegan and you don't like having meat so much, I would go for beans, lentils, chickpeas. These are all great options that add both protein and fiber to our diet, and they add also other nutrients that are really, really helpful for our body. And for dairy products, stick to fat-free options. They're not the best, but if you go for the full-fat version, I know it tastes amazing, but the calories quickly add up, especially if you use it as a dressing or a topping on food. Maybe we want to sprinkle some cheese. Well, make sure that it's low-fat and you don't add like 300 calories worth of cheese on your main course meal. For fibers, pretty much all sorts of vegetables, fruits have some fiber in it. Now, for the fruits that you want to avoid if you're cutting, like if you're cutting back, if you want to drop fat, I would avoid bananas, oranges, pineapple, mango, because these are really high in sugar. It's fructose, so it's not as bad as like white sugar that's refined. But again, if you want to cut back on your calories, if you want to have some more calories to play with on your main meals, stay away from those fruits. If you want to maintain, you can add them, or maybe if you know that you've had like a low amount of food throughout the day, you can have a banana with something, that's okay. But in general, these are kind of the fruits that I like to avoid. Now for fats, avocado, olive oil, different sorts of nuts, nut butters. There are many options there. I'm not going to go in detail. For carbohydrates, rice, potatoes, spaghetti, whole wheat bread, sweet potatoes. Now the difference between the whole wheat pasta and the regular one, between the white and brown rice, is pretty much the glycemic index, meaning that the time it takes for the carbohydrates to become glucose and enter the bloodstream. So in the long term, the nutritional profile is pretty much the same, so it's not gonna be detrimental to your success when it comes to losing or gaining weight. So there's a minor difference, and if you feel like you're hungry immediately after you have lunch or dinner, make sure you switch to the whole wheat or brown rice or sweet potatoes, because they're with a lower glycemic index, meaning that they enter the bloodstream slower, so the energy you get from them will be prolonged. Now as extras, I like to always have this ready in my fridge so I can get some extra protein, some boiled eggs. This is a great addition to any salad or a main course. You can have soy, almond, rice, milk, low-fat cow milk. These are all great options that you can have as, you know, extras to your meals, or maybe make your shake with it as well. You can have muesli and oats. These are great for midday snacks, especially with fat-free yogurt. You add a spoon of oats, a spoon of muesli, it's a great snack. And then we have avocado. I like to cut them 3, so 1/3 of avocado. It's pretty much like 70 to 80 calories, depending like on the size of the avocado. We have small avocados here, so you want to be careful with avocado. They're very calorie dense. And then some dried fruits as well. Now for dressing and flavoring the main courses, I use olive oil just a little bit. Be careful again, it's very calorie dense. So you might want to just weigh that out in the beginning, just so you know what's the quantity. Never use the bottle to put in your salad or something like that, because what we don't realize is that a salad could actually have more calories than a burger if we flavor it with the Italian dressings, Thousand Islands, whatever they have offer in the restaurants, because these are easily worth 400 to 500 calories just for the dressing alone. Now what I usually also add is vinegar, lemon or lime juice, chili pepper, salt, mustard, chili sauce. These are all great options, and they're very low calorie to no calories, some of them. Now in some of the countries there are fat-free versions available for some of the dressings, so feel free to use that as well. But make sure you don't add the majority and the bulk of your calories from dressing. So hopefully this video was really helpful to you, because this is the staple of how you get results when it comes to nutrition. If you have any questions, feel free to ask your coach, and super excited that you're part of the program, and I'll see you in the next video.